Oh, hi. My name is Nomaris Velez, and I serve as the dramaturg for this production. I'm a senior political science major with a double minor in theater and communication studies. I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, but I currently live here in Houston. So the dramaturg, how I see it, is kind of like the connection between the stage and the audience. So what I mean by that is, from the audience perspective, I provide information to give them a deeper, or just a little bit better understanding of the show, not like spoiling or anything like that, but just giving them like a brief overview of where the show may be set, some of the supporting characters in the show, and this information come in. Lobby displays, it can come in pre and post show talks. And when it comes to what you see on stage is what I mean with the actors and production crew. And with that, I provide information in forms of a dramaturgy packet. So with that dramaturgy packet is basically just a bunch of research that I've compiled and I give to the casting crew to do as they please, just basically just giving them more information about the show. So the thing that I found most helpful in my research was definitely looking at Haitian history. That definitely opened up a door of so much information that helped with my research. It opened up doors to looking at the Haitian Revolution and how integral it was to Haiti being the first independent country, freed from colonial before America. And along with learning about voodoo, which is very also an integral part of the culture, along with dance and music. Oh, definitely. I think the most interesting thing that I found in my research was voodoo. I learned that voodoo is kind of a monotheistic religion. It stems from Catholicism, from the Spaniards, and is basically the religion was brought over to Haiti from the slaves in Africa, and it is something that was integral to them fighting for their freedom in the Haitian Revolution. And it's a very important part of the culture. Many people pray to different gods or saints or the Loa. They pray for different reasons. They may pray for money. They may pray for health. They may pray for love. And some of those gods that are mentioned in Once on This Island are gods that are part of the voodoo religion or are inspired by gods in the voodoo religion. And so that was something that I found so interesting. And also that voodoo is not this dark religion. Voodoo dolls are not really a thing. It's very much a spiritual, natural religion, and it's pretty interesting if anyone would like to take a deeper dive into it.
Lindsay Gary. I am a professor scholar, a multidisciplinary artivist, as well as a social entrepreneur. And I was brought on the team to assist with choreographing around 6 pieces to really tell the tale of Haiti and its connection to Africa. I'm currently getting my MFA in dance, which is an amazing experience. In addition to that, I've done a number of things based in Houston for the most part with dance. So as a choreographer, I've choreographed numerous pieces, particularly that reflect the dances and traditions of the African diaspora and the continent of Africa, of course. And so some of my pieces include Alegua, which is a story about the African diaspora and literally the transatlantic slave trade and how it relates to the Orisha Alegua. And that piece was one of my first evening length pieces, which premiered at the Barnstorm Dance Festival. And it was actually the culmination of research I had done in Cuba and in Brazil around Orisha dances, the Yoruba tradition. And so I was an artist in residence for Dance Source Houston and was able to bring that performance and that choreography to that stage at the Barnstorm Dance Festival to end the residency, but also to culminate in some of that research I was conducting. I was super excited to do this musical and to choreograph these pieces because it's literally bringing together so much of my own personal dance journey, as well as challenging me. I've never choreographed a musical of this magnitude, and so I was pulling from a lot of different elements. My main inspirations were coming from Haiti, right? So I actually went to Haiti back in, I want to say 2014, but also I've studied Dunham, not a certified Dunham teacher, but I have studied Dunham and other Caribbean styles from Trinidad, from Jamaica. And so I was able to pull those influences into the movement. I've also recently been studying a lot of Afro-Cuban and bomba dance, which is from Puerto Rico. And so I was able to really look into the influences of that. Since the story is technically on the island of Haiti, I wanted to illuminate those particular rhythms and dances, but also bring together some influences of other types of Caribbean and diasporic forms, which are also represented through the rhythms of the music in the musical. And I also, of course, brought in Africa directly. And so using some of these very traditional steps, which are still practiced in some variation, right, but still practiced in the Caribbean today. And so those are like my primary influences. How could I bring together all these elements from the diaspora and from the continent and still allow the movement to really highlight Haiti as an island, but to do so authentically and still be creative, right? Like not just taking something directly from one particular rhythmic movement, but still adding my own flair and using the dancers' flares and the performers' flares to kind of move forward that particular choreography. So it was just a great challenge and a great experience. But one of the things that really stood out to me about this is the story, the history of the island, right? A lot of my research as a scholar is based on Haiti and the Haitian Revolution. Really, literally just did a presentation on Cecile Fatiman, who is the one of the leaders of the Haitian Revolution, who was very instrumental in the Boudoune ceremony, which ignited the entire revolution, right? But then also not just the history of the island, but particularly the spirituality, which sometimes is not really, painted in the best picture when it comes to Boudoune and that practice. And so I really was inspired by the fact that these divinities were, portrayed in a different light than they're often portrayed. And so I wanted to do justice and honor to the history of the people of Haiti, who I truly admire, that legacy, and of course the people themselves, but then also these kind of divine energies which play, roles like Papa Gay, right, and Asaka. So I really was wanting to make sure that those stories were told in a very positive way.
Hi, my name is Sarah Sachi, and I play Mama Yuruli in Once on This Island.
Hi, my name is Shakira Davis. I am playing the role of Ti Moune in Once on This Island at Sam Houston State University. I am a musical theater major, and I'm a junior from Rosenberg, Texas.
So when this show was first announced as part of the season, I had just seen it a month or two before at the Hobby Center, before the world shut down. And I had just remembered being so excited whenever they announced it. And I was like, I have to be in the show. I have to be in the show, because I remembered what it felt like for me to be an audience member and for me to want to be on stage and just feeling so connected to all the people on stage. And so whenever I found out that we were doing it, I was like, I have to do everything in my power to try and be in the show. And luckily, all of that hard work paid off, and here we are.
Honestly, whenever the show was announced, I was just really excited. Once on This Island is literally one of my favorite musicals, and Ti Moune is my literal dream role. So I was just really excited to get the opportunity to audition. I mean, obviously it's not what I expected because we're in a pandemic, so definitely there's some challenges with like, intimacy and still following COVID protocols, but I feel like it's only made me a better actor, so.
So the rehearsal process for me has been loads of fun, of course. This is my first musical here at SAM and my last production because I'm about to graduate. And like any other show, it comes with its own set of challenges and tasks you're really gonna have to work through. This is a ensemble heavy and dance heavy show. And so there's been a lot of layers that we've had to just take on one thing at a time in order to work through everything, because there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle to really make it go smoothly and for it to be a smooth performance, for our audience. However, I feel like my cast and crew has been up for the challenge since day one, and we have been taking it on head on with a fierce attitude, and it has definitely paid off. So the biggest challenge and the biggest reward of this process for me kind of go hand in hand. The biggest challenge would have to be really getting back on stage. I don't think I realized how used to being in the house I had gotten, with doing self-tapes and kind of moving everything to an online format. Those things are just different, but of course if you do something for a long enough time, you start to get used to that. And I just think that once we were finally back in the space, I was like, wow, this is really happening, and we're really doing this together, and it's going to take a lot of teamwork and it's going to take a lot of hours, but I'm willing to do it and I'm ready to do it. And so with that attitude, I feel like the reward has been so great because I just absolutely love my cast. They are really amazing. I've had a lot of friendships come out of it, and also just the fact that this is a artist of color show is also something amazing to be a part of, especially here at Sam Houston. And so those would have to be the most rewarding things for me. And again, this is my last show, and I feel like this is the perfect show for me to end with, and I am just so excited to be able to share this with everybody.
Creating the role of Ti Moune has taught me how to wear my heart on my sleeve, how to care for others, just because the character is just so driven with her emotions and what she feels, and she's not afraid to show that. And what I will take away is sort of the sense of community that the show has, and honestly the show has created a community within the cast, and I also think it's really special just because we get to have a cast that's full of POCs, so that's just a special thing in itself. Thank you so much for supporting Sam Houston State University's Department of Theater and Musical Theater. Now, sit back, relax, and maybe even dance a little as you enjoy Once on This Island.